Welcome, horror fam, to HHN365, a Halloween Horror Nights podcast. My name is Mike, and as always, I'm with my co-host Duff. How's it going, Duff?
Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Doing good. And we also have Nico on the line. How's it going, Nico?
It's going real well. How about you?
Good. Going a little crazy. It's about, week 4 of this stay-at-home order quarantine.
That sounds about right.
But we're making the best of it. Speaking of that, Duff, you have kind of an announcement, right?
Yeah, so I think we brought it up last week as well, but we'll go into more detail this week. We thought it would be fun since everyone has a little bit more time on their hands during this quarantine to play a little game. Basically, we want to figure out what the best house of the last 15 years was. So HHN29 all the way down to HHN15. We're going to do this tournament style, starting with group stages. Each year will be broken into 2 separate groups, an IP and an original as well. Of course, we have to take liberties on some years to make that work. After that, we move on to a bracket style, 32 teams, bring it down to the champion. We're going to be doing this all on social media, so Instagram, Twitter, follow us at HHN365. That's where you're going to find all this fun. You aren't going to hear about it on here. Maybe we'll bring up the champion, but you don't get to play with us on here. So, but it's called Copa del Quarantine. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be starting it shortly after we drop this episode, so hang tight on the social medias.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. What do you think is the front runner?
I think, honestly, a lot of people who follow us probably have been going for only, a couple years, several years. So I think something like Scarecrow or Graveyard Games, one of the bigger ones from the past few years.
Yeah, definitely.
I think they have the best shot.
Yeah, but who knows? There could be a shocker. Yeah, we could get something like a Belgium make a deep run.
Which one?
No, I was making a soccer reference, World Cup where Belgium.
Oh, Belgium. You said Belgium. Yes, I see.
Yeah.
I see where you're going.
I have to explain soccer references to you, Del.
Well, I didn't hear you say Belgium. Okay, I'm sorry.
Even I caught that one, Duff.
Maybe I'm just deaf. All right, leave me alone.
All right. Well, do we have any other news or housekeeping?
We actually have some exciting news that we just stumbled upon before we started recording. More rumor than news.
Yeah, but we've been treating it like news.
Yeah, we have. And it's very exciting either way. Mike, come on. What's the good stuff?
Well, as of maybe an hour ago, Horror Night Nightmares just dropped Speculation Map 2.0, and honestly, there's a lot of changes. There's some big changes.
Yeah, there's a good amount.
Let's start. So Beetlejuice is still the same. Universal Monsters, The Bride is still on there with one big change. It now says in smaller print, music by Billie Eilish.
Mm-hmm. And I think we're all in favor of Billie Eilish being incorporated like this, right?
Yeah, this is if Billie Eilish is coming, this is the best way to see it, in my opinion.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
And then it's not like it hasn't been done before. In fact, the past couple of years, Slash has composed the scores for the Universal Monsters houses on the West Coast. So It's not exactly a new concept. It's something they've done. Something that we could see Horror Nights here now, maybe. I think it would fit a lot better.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what that house is going to look like if it comes true. Bedtime Stories is also still there. Terra Corinthus, still there. Dungeons of Terror is now where the Billie Eilish house was. So there's no Billie Eilish house. It's now been moved. Dungeon of Terror, which is still on the map, just in a different location. Now we have in F, which is one of the Sprung
Tent 1, it looks like.
Sprung Tent 1. Now it just says in big bold letters, Secret IP. Duff, what do you think? Secret IP.
See, now, there's a couple ways you can look at this. Obviously, one is it's a big secret, and no one's going to find out because it's something big they're hiding, right?
Right.
They don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Of course, people are going to think maybe it's finally going to be It, or The Conjuring, or some huge property that's been on everyone's wish lists that have been tied up in the rights, getting the rights. Maybe they're finally going to do it. Or is it just kind of, we don't know what it is, so it's a secret IP? And it's honest. I mean, it could be Gremlins, like that's the one they've been hiding. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
my gut says that maybe it's something that because it's something that's a movie's going to be released in September, and they're holding off really making any sort of rumors and announcements about it because they don't know if the movie is going to be released, and so they might have to swap it out with some sort of original last minute or something like that. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe it is Candyman. A little bit of news that Candyman was supposed to be released in July has now been moved back to September.
Which would work.
Maybe this is the Candyman house. I don't know if it, it's any secret that Candyman has been rumored, so I don't know if secret IP fits, but who knows?
Yeah, we were both on board for Candyman coming. I think it kind of makes sense. It's a possibility.
I know the other thing that's been rumored a lot is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That was on the Theme Park University list of predictions. That could be a secret IP. I feel like that fits a little bit. Mm-hmm. It fits a lot more than Invisible Man, in my opinion. That was the other IP that was on the Theme Park University list that we went over last week as well. But so maybe this is Leatherface. Moving on, it looks like, speaking of Theme Park University, this is a one that they actually predicted on their list, which was not on Speculation Map 1.0. They are now predicting Pumpkin Original. So some sort of Halloween pumpkin-themed original house, which would be in Sprung Tent 2, I believe it looks like. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Fun thing, though, is that Theme Park University called it Pumpkin King, whereas Horror Night Nightmares didn't get so specific and just called it Pumpkin Original. So, there's really no details on what this could possibly be.
I know I predicted a pumpkin scare zone of some sort, a Halloween scare zone.
You did. You did
something about Halloween, so maybe this could fit that bill.
Is it like I kind of think back to like HHN28 where they had the really cool pumpkin scare actors that were lit up. Maybe some like pumpkin type creatures like that.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? That one's really up in the air.
Yeah, who knows? Moving on, Haunting of Hill House is still there where it was before. They also now have Legendary Truth is still there, but with one big difference. There is no longer the Cary, Ohio subtitle on the map. Mm-hmm. If of everything that has changed, this is the one thing I am sad about, to be honest. What do you think, Bill?
Honestly, does it make much of a difference? Because once you put Legendary Truth, it kind of
has to be set in Cary, Ohio.
Not fully, but almost, yes. Yeah. I don't think this changes much, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely makes it that this might not be the anniversary house that we. It could be an original house now. The Cary, Ohio is what made it sound like it was definitely going to be some sort of anniversary house. Legendary Truth doesn't necessarily by itself scream that anymore, but who knows?
But here's the thing also, there have been rumored houses that came to fruition where they had some name changes. The original name was still the concept of the house in the end. So maybe the concept of the house still is Cary, Ohio, but that's not going to be the name of the house in any way, So maybe it's still going to be based around Cary, Ohio, but it's just going to be Legendary Truth something.
Yeah, who knows? I'm excited either way. I know this was we didn't really have a hype list, but if we, our little made up hype list of Map 1.0, this was near the top of both of our lists, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Well, moving on, the last location is what we speculate is the Cafe La Bamba rumor, where on the map it's kind of dropped right on the esoteric gate. Now Gremlins is no longer there. Now it just says unknown original. So who knows what that is? Maybe that is our anniversary house now.
Maybe. It's very possible. Maybe it's the Icon house.
Yeah, maybe it's the Icon house. Maybe who knows?
Yeah, maybe there's not much to say about it, to be honest.
Yeah, we don't know. There's not been a lot of rumors about. I know that Theme Park University. I don't know if we talked about it too much. They announced some sort of earthquake original themed house, but that was the only time we've ever heard that. So maybe that's what this is. They did get the Pumpkin King right, or the pumpkin, at least according to Halloween HHN Nightmares.
Yeah, no. I mean, Horror Night Nightmares did pick that up from them, so that's kind of a good sign for Theme Park University.
Yeah. So maybe some of their stuff is right.
Yeah, who knows? To be seen. I'm sure when we get like a volume 3 of the speculation map from Horror Night Nightmares, it'll look a little bit more complete.
Right.
So looking forward to that. How do you feel about the changes overall?
I think overall the changes are good, right? I know I was vocal that Gremlins didn't really excite me. Billie Eilish was okay. I was excited to kind of basically just what they would come up with, not necessarily about the property, just more about like, okay, well, let's see what they can do with this. But with now the Pumpkin original one sounds like that could be really cool. The secret IP leaves some mystery here. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I think honestly. It sounds weird saying this as we literally lost 2 houses and they've become unknown, but I feel like this is a little more complete and cohesive of an event than the original one.
I would say
we're still missing 2 houses completely. We have unknown and secret. So, that's really going to make or break how I really feel about the houses as a whole and how they connect. But the 8 I'm looking at, I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, and I think the one last interesting to talk about this map is now it looks like, breaking down, it looks like 6 original houses and 4 IPs.
Yeah, that is a huge thing.
Yeah, definitely.
I've been hoping for that the entire time. I think, an anniversary year. I think all HHN fans would love to see more originals at a year like this.
That was one of the rumors floating around that this was going to be an original heavy year. Most people didn't believe it just because of the past. We've definitely been leaning towards IP. IP brings people in. It sells the tickets. But yeah, who knows?
Then we should also mention Scare Zones, still fully unknown. Shows are still Academy of Villains and the Lagoon Show.
Right. Yep. Before moving on, Nico, do you have any thoughts?
I'm down for the Billie Eilish Bride House. That's probably the one that sticks out the most to me.
Yeah,
I think that's probably going to be the best execution. Yeah,
definitely.
That's probably the house I'm looking most forward to. That and Beetlejuice right now, to be honest.
Yeah. I think you're going to be definitely. You're going to be surprised. Really, I think surprised by some of these original things that you don't know quite about. I think you're really going to like a lot of these things, like Terra Corinthus. That's going to be really cool. The traditional Halloween pumpkin. If that comes, that's going to be really cool. You need to start watching Haunting of Hill House, and then you'll be excited for that. There's a lot of things in here I think that you're going to enjoy.
I'm super excited. I can't wait. I hope it happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think so too. We were all on board of this happening. Let's not really get into that. I will say that the more and more things go, the more anxious I get about it. But I think it's happening, and let's not get into that.
Yeah, it's far enough away where it'll still happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I like looking at it that way.
Well, let's get into the main segment of the show. We talked about it last week. We wanted to make kind of look back, have a kind of, this is going to be kind of a fun episode. Nico always gets like really shocked when we talk about all the crazy stuff about HHN. So basically, we brought Nico on for this one where we're going to do a top 10 list. I mean, we haven't really told him most of these. We're going to basically surprise him by going over the top 10 craziest things that has happened in HHN history. And then we've also brought in some friends to do a couple of theirs at the end for audio segments. So this is going to be really fun.
Yeah. You want to kind of get into the guest segments first?
Do we want to do the guest segments or do we end with those?
No, let's throw the guest in. Come on. Let's let them lead.
Let's lead with the guest.
They took their time. They can lead this.
So let me preface it real quick before we do it. We reached out to some of our friends and people we've interacted with on social media, people we've been trying to work with and just haven't had on the show with yet. We reached out to them and said, hey, this is what the show is going to be about. How about you record a 1 or 2 minute thing of what you think are some of the craziest things that have happened at the event. Some people, we told them to be as personal as they wanted, maybe some things that have happened to them personally or to their family members. We just kind of let them, we just told them record something about a crazy thing at HHN and they ran with it. So we get some really unique takes that we did. We kind of went with a top 10 list of about like uniquely like shows, scare zones. We're really excited about some of the stuff they came up with. Yeah, no,
I definitely like the way
than what we did.
This was taken. Yeah, exactly. It kind of gives a different flair than our list completely, which is kind of what we're looking for. So let's just get right into it. And I think this first voice you guys will definitely recognize.
Hey guys, Hunter here from the Catacombs of Halloween Horror Nights and the Grim Grinning Hosts podcast. I was invited on by my fellow spooky brothers over at HHN365 to come on and talk about things that I found like crazy or like the worst things in HHN lineup. And it's in an unfortunate or fortunate turn of events for me because I was really racking my brain thinking of stuff. I'm like, the Bloody Mary licensing situation's kind of crazy. But I was like reading that message and I noticed one of the guys put a shirt description of what you think is. And I'm like, aha, I'm going to crack a joke here. And so I said, normally I'm more of a tri-blend guy, but cotton works too sometimes as long as I don't dry it too much. Anyways, so then they challenged me to find the worst shirt in the HHN lineup, and thankfully for me, this was pretty easy. It's actually the horror alumni shirt from HHN25. There's a lot of great shirts. I know a lot of people aren't fond of them too much anymore, but the black shirts with the red, like sticky vinyl rubbery font, I love those just because I think they're kind of iconic. But this horror alumni shirt is not that. It features all of the classic HHN icons, and this was like on phone cases and stuff too, but it's Jack, it's the caretaker, the director, the storyteller, and Chucky. What the fuck? Why? I hate this. So I've said publicly for years how much I hate this shirt because it's a perfect shirt. I love the horror alumni. I love all the icons. Perfect celebration for 25. But then there's Chucky in the place of obviously where the usher is supposed to be. So I was talking to a few friends, and apparently this is because when the usher was used as like the marketing icon, he never got like proper headshots done. He never got really good high definition photos done, so he's not featured on any of the merch. And I'm really pissed off about it. I'm gonna be honest, the usher's great. He's like top 2 icons for me, and now we have this like bastard shirt that's just awful. Ugh, hate it. Anyways, thanks for having me on, guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.
All right. Thank you, Hunter. Well, you've heard him on the show before. We just had him on a guest not too long ago. Also, follow him at Hanbrillo77 on Twitter.
That was great. I agree.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's kind of funny because I've actually always also thought that shirt makes no fucking sense to me. Like, why is Chucky on this shirt? And now I know. I did not know the answer to it, and now I do. And
the usher's my favorite. I love the usher.
Ridiculously dumb. Why do they not have proper high quality like photo shoot done with him at any point?
For the record, the typo was Duff. Duff did the typo.
That was me. But it led to this.
It led to this great, awesome segment by Hunter. So thank you again, Hunter. Who do we have next, Duff?
So next we have. Well, I'll let him introduce himself. Actually,
what's up, guys? This is Mike Zeke at Flash1354 on Twitter, and I was asked what is the craziest or weirdest thing I've ever seen, heard, or experienced at Halloween Horror Nights. And I've got to go with Halloween Horror Nights 27. My favorite house at Halloween Horror Nights 27, which was Ash vs. the Evil Dead. This was my honeymoon. My wife and I are big horror fans. We love Halloween. We've always wanted to go to Universal, so it was a natural fit for us, so that's what we chose for our honeymoon. Just walking to the facade and seeing the facade of the house, that demolition derby scene is one of my favorite scenes in the entire series, and I've loved the Evil Dead series from Jump Street. I love Sam Raimi. I love Bruce Campbell. Who doesn't? But just the fact that we got Ash vs. the Evil Dead and not, another Evil Dead follow-up house, but to get something that was kind of comical and kind of scary. I was laughing and jumping throughout the entire house, and it was definitely an experience and definitely one I'll remember for the rest of my life. So, thanks, guys. Everybody stay safe. Have a good one.
Thank you, Mike. That was the great story as well. I love his personal touch on it. I never experienced Ash versus Evil Dead. Duff, you had though. Do you have any comment on Ash?
Yeah, what a
Evil
fucking
Dead?
weird property to bring to HHN, right?
Right?
Like, I remember when it was announced, I was like, what now? Like, I get it. Obviously, it's horror adjacent more than horror,
It's
I'd say,
horror
but it comes
camp.
comes from a horror. It's based off a horror series, and it has the comedic effects they go for. It felt so weird as an HHN house. I don't agree with Mike that it's one of my favorites, but I definitely agree that it is one of the crazier properties I've seen come to HHN over the years. I never would have expected it to come.
Definitely in this modern
But there it
era.
was.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and then go ahead.
Is this the first and maybe only HHN house based on a Starz original series? Have we had any others?
I don't think we have. Has there been a Party Down house?
No, there's not.
Where
Actually,
Adam
no, I
Scott
think
just
in
comes out and says,
HHN
Are we having fun yet?
Yeah, no, I don't know if we'll ever. I mean, you can never predict what random like horror series stars will land, I guess. But yeah, I'd guess no. To answer your question.
Based on how many times Starz tries to get me to buy their thing for for $5 you could have 6 months of Starz Direct. I don't know if Starz is going to be landing anything too big anytime soon.
Yeah, probably not. All right, and then we do have one more guest selection, so let's get right into that.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. My name is Jonathan, and I've been going to HHN since HHN28, but I've been a theme park nerd for as long as I can remember. Now, my crazy experience I had at Horror Nights was at HHN29. When it was announced that Killer Clowns was going to be a house this year, I knew my brother just had to go. Killer Clowns is absolutely one of his favorite movies. The main problem was that he was only 10 years old, and that was under the age guideline that HHN sets. He did really want to do it though, so my family decided that we were going to take him. We prepared him for many months, showing him house POVs, showing him the IPs that were going to be featured at the event, and just overall showing him the layout of what was going to be where. We did stay in Scream and went to Ghostbusters first. In line, he started shaking, so I could tell he was incredibly scared. Who wouldn't be their first time going into a haunted house? Once the first librarian scare hit him, he was done for the rest of the house. His head was buried into my chest, and he was hugging me so tight that I could barely breathe. Once we exited the house, we had to take him to the tribute store to cool off. He was in complete panic mode. Trying to calm him down, we told him the rest of the day we would just walk through scare zones and ride rides and all of that. But he looked at us straight in the eye and said, I want to go see Killer Clowns. And we told him that's probably not a good idea considering the way you just reacted in the Ghostbusters house. But he was determined and said, I'm doing Killer Clowns and then no more houses. And so we said, okay, we'll take you to Killer Clowns. How scary could it be anyways? Once again, he started showing visible signs of fear in the line. The facade helped him calm down a little bit because of its wonderful scent of buttery popcorn and the funny shadows on the wall. However, once we entered, he was once again holding on to me extremely tight. This was when something magical happened. We were going incredibly slow because my brother was afraid, so everyone ahead of us disappeared. That meant all the scare actors were focused on us. And every single clown, I kid you not, gave my brother a high five or waved at him or just noticed him and gave a little gesture to him. They all made him feel welcome and at home. They made him feel like he belonged here. My brother's fear soon turned into laughter. Terror turned into complete joy. Every single scare actor let him know that he was okay and that they loved that he was visiting. By the end of the maze, my brother's entire body language changed, and he even started dancing with the clowns. As we exited the house, every team member standing there clapped for him, saying, "Good job." This house, because of its amazing scare actors and team members, made my brother fall in love with HHN. After it, we went through every single house and then went back another time and did them again. It was so crazy how everyone worked together to help my brother get through the house and enjoy his time in it. It was lightning in a bottle that could only happen once, but I'm so glad I got to witness it. It's funny how one crazy moment could change someone's life forever. If any of the scare actors from that house are listening, I really want to say thank you for everything you did for my brother. If you're interested in hearing more of these stories from my times at the theme parks, you can search me up on Hung Up on Theme Parks on Instagram. That's no spaces, Hung Up on Theme Parks. Thank you guys for having me again, and please stay safe out there.
Jonathan, thank you for taking that the way you did. I think that's the first wholesome thing we've ever had on this show.
Yeah, so
and
cute.
I loved it. And also, Nico, you're going to have to calm down the killer clown slander now, because, like,
I guess.
you hear that?
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
You hear that?
What do you think, Nico? Does that change your opinion on killer clowns?
Absolutely not. I'm glad he enjoyed it, but absolutely not.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you again, Jonathan. That was really
touching. that was really good.
That actually reminds me of a personal story. I actually did my very first haunted house when I was 6 years old. I was terrified. My dad went me through one of my best memories, and I've been a haunt boy ever since. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that story.
Yeah, not me. I was terrified my first few trips to haunted events. So never had those special moments. I was just scared shitless. But here I am.
Yeah, well, so those are all of our guest ones. We enjoyed that so much. I think what we are going to do, and this is kind of a part of the reasons why we had them do it, is that we've decided to start a voicemail with an actual phone number, so you can give us a call at any time you want. Maybe not 2 a.m, because it is going to ring to my actual phone and go to my voicemail mailbox. But you can give us a call back when the bars are back open. If you are out drinking, we want drunk ones. That would be awesome. If you just did some an amazing, great thing on your test and you want to let us know, and then talk about Halloween Horror Nights, whenever, just give us a call on the voicemail. That's going to be 407-906-3405. Once again, that is 407-906-3405. And so I guess the best way you could do this is when announcements start coming. We're going to probably have some voicemails on for announcements whenever we do a top 10 list. Again, if you want to leave us a voicemail about something we left off that you want to talk about, that would be a great time to voicemail, and we'll put them on the show as much as we can, as often as we can.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. One, it's more interaction that we get to listen to people's opinions, and then also we get to include as many people on the show as we can. We're kind of limited now. We've been trying to do a lot of guests, but we can't just squeeze a bunch of guests on every episode. So I mean, I'm really excited. This is This is something we've been thinking about for, I mean, basically since episode 1, and
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
finally going to do it. And you know, I think we'll usually kind of ask questions like on the show, like directly, like if you want to call in to the voicemail, what do you think about this? You know, so I think it's exciting. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah,
So
it should
add it
work
to
out
your
just
phone.
fine.
Yeah, right now, open up your phone, add it into your contacts. Yes, and call us whenever you want. Leave a voicemail.
Yeah, definitely. You leave a voicemail, it'll be on. Outside of you saying obvious remarks that you already know you shouldn't say.
Of course.
Yeah.
But our listeners are better than that, so we don't even.
Yes,
Absolutely.
this is correct.
Yeah,
we got no NASCAR drivers. I can't remember his name. Nico, help me.
No Kyle Larson's here.
Kyle.
Him.
Larson. Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
Great. Anyway, let's get to our list now that we have done our guest lists. Do we have some honorable mentions we want to get out of the way first? I think we do, right?
Yeah, let's knock them out. So I think most of our honorable mentions, if not all of them, are on the honorable mention list because we've already talked about them on the show. Is that right?
Yeah, basically, I would say they're just about as crazy as some of these others that are on the list. The main reason why we left them out is that we have talked about them on the show already. So some of those would be like Robosaurus. That's pretty crazy. The Undertaker house from HHN Hollywood. That's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Rat race happening because of the corn maze was destroyed. That was pretty crazy.
The one Night Maze in there.
Yeah, Night Maze. That was a terrible scare zone. There's been a lot of pretty crazy scare zones. I don't think we really went scare zone heavy on this list, but maybe we will eventually do a scare zone list of just like some of the weirdest, craziest scare zones. But the other one that I wanted to mention as an honorable mention that then end up on the list just because we couldn't find a lot about to talk about it is there was a show in Hollywood. What it was, year 2006. It was called Fear Factor Live Dead Celebrity Edition. And if you want to know a little bit about that, there is a YouTube video, not of the whole show, but basically of like the characters introducing themselves, and it looks insane. So those are kind of our honorable mentions. Let's hop right into the actual list. This is going to be no particular order because it's really hard to say like, oh, this was crazier than the other. These are all just pretty batshit crazy. The first one that we want to talk about is the house Dark Torment from HHN10. This was a house that was held into the earthquake queue. The reason why we think this one's so crazy, well, for kind of two reasons. You actually had to ride the earthquake ride to first get into the maze, and after you rode the ride. Yeah, after you rode the ride, there was like Jack would appear on a screen basically telling you that you died in the earthquake and that you were all going to hell. And then that's when you then walked through like a door, and then you went through a graveyard, and you basically went into your own grave, and you emerged in hell. And hell was as terrifying as you would think. It was just a lot of people being tortured. Weird things with like their tongues, people with their tongues cut out. It was definitely a very gory, insane house. One of the reasons why we wanted to mention this is that I know there was a lot of talk about like Sabrina being a little too satanic. Well, HHN definitely has a history of being satanic. At least at one point they did.
Yeah, they've calmed it down since, but it's happened.
It's happened.
It is.
Oh God!
Dark Torment. Duff, do you have any other things to say about Dark Torment?
I really, really wish I would have got to do this house. I mean,
yeah, me too. Yeah,
crazy, unique. It sounds like perfection in a terrible way.
Yeah, it seems pretty gory, pretty crazy. Ceremonial daggers were involved. People, mouths being sewn shut. Pretty dark stuff going on.
Yeah, and you had good crowd control with pulsing, with using Earthquake as basically a line pulser.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh man,
Yeah, definitely.
writing Earthquake, and then so he appeared on the screen that was in Earthquake.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know.
There.
Yeah, obviously neither of us have done this, so we don't know all the logistics.
Oh,
yeah,
that would be so cool! Like coming back, you're like, man, God, this was kind of like on my hot takes list that they would do something like this.
It was. Yeah.
I didn't know that this had already happened.
Yeah,
wow.
You did say something
Nico.
like that.
Oh, they
about
could
Fast and
easily
the
do
Furious.
this with like Fast and Furious.
Oh, yeah.
Like you have to ride the terrible ride, and then it was like this ride is so bad that it killed you, and then you have to go back. Or like there was a high speed accident, and then like you see Paul Walker or something in the.
Wow.
No, that just went dark.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
You don't think that's going to happen? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
But no, this sounds great. This absolutely blows my mind that they did this. I really hope we get something like this again, like using the attraction as that, because I think that's a good way to help pulse people through and give people a 2-for-1 punch.
This wasn't the first time either. Yeah, don't hold your breath. It's happened before. Who knows? I would say maybe there's potential if J.K. Rowling ever lets Horror Nights happen in actual Wizarding World Harry Potter. There's a potential place that you could maybe see like a little bit of an overlay where you get more Death Eaters or more things in the spookier environment there. But who knows? It could happen.
That would be really cool.
Could. Again, don't hold your breath.
Yeah, don't hold your breath. What's the next one, Duff? Do you want to take the next one?
Yeah, so the next one I think is a really good option on this list personally. I know you do too.
I do.
That's going to be going back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Actually, moving forward a little bit from where we were, I guess. HHN15. As you already know, this event was just kind of crazy overall with Terra Queen and Terra Quintus, and then kind of marketing going, yeah, no, and then throwing Storyteller in. Just a weird year. But we're specifically going to talk about Terra Mines. So if you don't know much about Terra Mines, the big, we'll call it a gimmick about it, was that every 12th guest, which kind of became more frequent, like up every third guest, was given a mining helmet with lights on them. So basically this house was supposed to just be pretty dark and you really don't see much, only when the lights turn on. When those lights on the helmet turn on, they're activated by not motion sensors, but just kind of like it's triggered along certain spots of the house.
Right.
So you can catch certain scares. Now, the helmets didn't work, according to a lot of people, more than half the time. So that was an issue. It's not too clear whether it was already too bright in the first place or if they brightened it up when they realized that the helmets weren't working very well, but the house became too bright. So bright even that guests were just ditching their helmets in the middle of the house because they didn't need them anymore. They could see everything. Yep. Another problem with that is the house was built to be so dark, it didn't really matter if like the dead spaces didn't have any theming to them. So there's just a lot of blank dead space that people saw when it was lighter. So it just kind of became a mess.
Oh.
So what did they do, Nico? They decided to bring back the helmets next year.
Hey.
They did.
Hey, you can't give up on a good idea.
Yeah, they brought it back in People Under the Stairs under construction, plagued with basically the same amount of issues. People were ditching the helmets. They claimed it was going to be super dark and only lit by the helmets, but basically everyone is like, I can see fine. What? So they would just toss the helmets. They weren't working anyway, and then the helmets never came back. Chalk this up to something that would never happen after COVID-19. I don't think we'll ever have something that you will be reusing again or reusing ever again. But yeah, it did happen at one point. Yeah.
I mean, it's a great idea for like immersion purposes. It's fantastic, and you're absolutely right. We are never going to see this again in our post COVID-19 world, at least at least a decade.
No, absolutely not. No, but great in theory, definitely, yeah.
You were saying, Duff?
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, we're never gonna see it again. There's no chance.
There's no way.
Really good concept.
Yeah, on to the third one on our list. This one's a more modern. Most people who are now Horror Nights fans probably actually remember this or have heard about this one. It is definitely one of the more unique things that's ever happened, and that is going to be, we're going to go to HHN 26, and that is the repository, which was the very first upcharge house at HHN. It was a VR experience. And it was also kind of like an escape room experience. They believe they charged an additional $50 to $60.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it was in Soundstage 19. You were like assigned a time that you were going to go experience this, and you were in a small group of people, and there was actually characters in the room with you. You had to solve like riddles and physical puzzles, and then you got like stickers at the end that you could wear around saying that you participated.
Oh boy, $50.
There were two colors. So you either got I forget the colors, but you either got the we passed color or we failed color.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was kind of, I didn't get to do it, I'll state. But it was very interesting in the fact that I think the biggest thing, the first ever upcharge house, quote unquote, HHN has ever had. They kind of pitched it as being very VR heavy and being a VR attraction, basically. The VR headset was only used in one of the 4 rooms.
Right.
It does have a nice little history for the event that it is the only, shared with American Horror Story, house to ever be in Soundstage 19.
Oh, well, good for it.
Yeah.
It's always in Horror Nights lore until, they maybe start using it, and then it means nothing.
Another critique I would say most people said about it, it was way too short for the price point. It was a very expensive upcharge. $60 is basically unheard of in the escape room world.
Yeah, that's double the price.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, most escape rooms go for about $30. You can usually find a deal or so on a lot of them to go around 20. is like 20 is like the cheap range. 30 is like the normal range. 35. So 60 for an escape room is pretty expensive.
Mm-hmm.
After already paying what, $89 to get into the event?
At least. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
God. Ooh, that's
it was a pricey disappointment.
Yeah, because like how much is one of the tours? One of the tours is not much more than that. And an express pass
also
probably
it was
better.
$50, not $60. $49.99.
$49.99.
That's still too expensive.
It's still very
no, it is.
I wouldn't do that. I mean,
after tax though, you're looking,
But
listen, man, I didn't even do it, and I love Horror Nights. I still didn't get it. Like I wanted to do it, I just never got around to like feeling like dropping $50 on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever see anything like this again?
I think we would have already seen it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I could see maybe like quite a bit down the line them trying something like that again, but I think right now it's kind of like, all right, we tried and it failed.
Yeah.
An upcharge on top of an upcharge feels really scummy.
Yeah, no, I don't think.
Especially if it's just for one thing, because the express pass, you pay what, $80 to $100 for that, but you get very good benefit from there.
Mm-hmm.
The RIP tours, or whatever the hell they call them.
There are RIP tours, yes.
Yeah, those are I believe probably worth it. But something like this, just for one experience and it being short, I hope this never comes back.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
And if
26, that was what, 4 years ago? So yeah, that's kind of around when upcharges started to hit everywhere in Orlando.
Yeah, escape rooms were all the rage around that time too.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. If they brought it back at a better price point, I'd be heavily intrigued. Also, honestly, if they just want to like do a legit escape room and just market it as an escape room and not make it so gimmicky, I'd pay like $25, even $30 to do an HHN escape room.
Yeah, that would be good. I probably wouldn't go higher than 30, and I don't think the GP would go higher than 30 either.
No, probably not.
Yeah,
because if people actually attended this, they would have brought it back.
Oh yeah, no, it didn't do well.
If it probably did not make money.
No.
No.
And then even the people who did it, they had complaints, we'll say.
Also, we're not going to see a VR experience in a park. Going back to the terror thing with the helmets, we're not going to get something like that ever again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
What's going to happen with not to go off the subject, but what's going to happen with like 3D glasses? Are they going to just have, I know they wash them after every guest, but people are still going to be concerned about it.
Woo, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Good observation there. I didn't even consider that.
I mean, I don't know what else they could
Oh my God.
do.
They're going to have to probably put like a sign that says like, these have been sanitized after each guest. Like probably one of those things.
They're going to have to start handing the guest. Exactly. It's going to be a gloved cast member handing the glasses to the guest.
Yeah.
Or team member, pardon me. Well, I mean, that's
no more the
same thing.
Yeah,
no
just
more pickup
grabbing.
trays.
Yeah, no, because you always see the kid who touches like 7 of them while trying to pick up one.
Well, and then you have me who like used to wash them. Like one of my parts of my job when I worked at Journey and Imagination, I had to wash those glasses. So I always picked the one that didn't have warped lenses. So I was that guy.
You would like pick them up and like move them around.
Yeah, and I'd be like, "Oh, this ain't good," and then I would just pick up another pair. But no, like that's going to have to be an extra position. I know they already do that at like Flight of Passage, where they
do they?
Yeah, they hand you the 3D glasses. Yeah, you don't pick up your 3D glasses; they actually hand them to you. But I think those are more. I think those are more expensive, and Star Tours also does it sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, usually they do hand them to you.
But whatchamacallit? Gringotts is just grab and go. Same with Transformers. So they're gonna have to put
that's a universal thing. Spider-Man, same thing. I mean, that's just how it is.
Yeah, they're just gonna have to put an extra team member.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a really good point, Mike.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's interesting to see the little changes that will be made in our day-to-day life moving forward. Moving on to the list, I'll take the next one again.
Thank you. I was going to say this one's more up your alley because I'll be flat out honest. I'm not sure it deserved to make the list, but Mike really thought it did. So
yeah, I think it makes the list for one unique reason, and and I'll get to that in a second. So this is the most recent one. And this goes back to HHN 2028, and it's actually maybe 4 or 5 days after the close of HHN 28. Stranger Things Day. This was the house opened. The Stranger Things house from HHN 28 opened for one day only during normal park hours to celebrate Stranger Things Day. Which is November 6th, which is the day that Will Byers disappeared in the first season of the show. It is, to date, the only time that Universal Halloween Horror Nights Orlando has ever opened a house to the general public during normal operation hours. It's pretty crazy, in my opinion. Pretty cool.
See, I think, Nico, I think it's more, oh, that's cool, more than, oh, that's crazy.
Do you think it'll happen ever again?
Honestly, I think it could. I think if it's a big enough property, honestly, yeah, it could.
And it releases around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, what do you think would be big enough? Like, if we ever get like a third It movie, and we get a property that like lines up with the third It movie, and just trying to advertise for that.
I would say maybe a Universal Monsters. Like if they do that, like if they're trying to push their new stuff.
Yeah,
I can see that we do that.
I don't think it's big enough. I don't think you would.
I don't know. I think if they were like, let's say they had like, just saying, if they had just a Wolfman house, right? And there was a Wolfman movie coming out in October or November or something, I could see them opening up to the general public for one day to advertise.
I mean, Krampus would be the only one because that would be coming into like around Thanksgiving.
We're never going to see another Krampus house.
I mean, it was really popular, man.
Or like Silent Night, Deadly Night, some like a Christmas horror film would be the only thing I could see because that would tie up with a November release.
I don't know. There's horror movies that get later releases than October. It happens.
Definitely. Yeah, but in October, but pretty much, I mean, it loses.
I'm saying past October. There's November horror releases. Yeah. There's even Christmas Day horror movie releases.
I like how you put one of the key points of this was queue times during the day went as high as 75 minutes.
Yeah, the waits were about 75 minutes, which I guess could be a good way to kind of suck some people away from some of the other crazy lines. But it's only for one day is the weird part. Like, what if they did this for, say, during September and October, for every day, to basically advertise for people to then stay and basically upgrade their ticket if they had one house that was open to the general public? Do you think they could ever do that?
That would honestly be really smart if they had.
That would be a great idea.
Big property that would draw people in, get them to go in, and like, oh, that was a lot of fun. I want to do the whole event now. Yeah, absolutely.
Maybe not do it for the IP property, but one of the original houses.
Yeah,
I could see it because I think the IP would drive your ticket sales more. And there could be some contracts between, like, the IP takes a certain cut of whatever the gate ticket is.
Probably.
You don't want to share that.
Who knows?
Yeah,
especially if it's a non-universal property.
But no, I think in general that would be a good idea, to be honest.
Yeah, a little scare teaser.
Well, leave us a voicemail. What you think if this will ever come back again? Leave us a voicemail on your thoughts. Moving on, Duff.
Yeah, so prepare to go to HHN12 and stay there for quite a while, because this was one hell of a fucking year, guys.
We're getting into the crazy.
I got my Pennyworther ready.
So we will start deep within the jungle. Top secret genetic experiments have gone horribly wrong, creating hideous mutants, half human, half dinosaur, and all evil. We're talking about Project Evolution, guys.
Oh man.
So here's the thing. This house is based on Jurassic Park, of course. Any Jurassic Park based house could be fine with me. Like, okay, fine. It's your property. It's horror enough. I love Jurassic Park. Hell, let's do it. No, they had to go the half human, half dinosaur route. And they had to call it fucking Project Evolution. Evolution. Come on. Anyways, so fun fact about this house to start. It used the Triceratops Discovery Trail. So it was almost mostly all outdoors. Yeah. It had the few buildings you can go into, as that attraction did. But otherwise, outdoors. It's one of only 2 houses in that location. So it has some HHN history there. So this house, as you would guess, was centered around the creation of human dino hybrids. You'll just kind of see like regular raptors, Dilophosaur, all kinds of dinosaurs around at first. Then near the end, you'll find this hybrid dinosaur. Do you know what this hybrid dinosaur is? It's literally just a fucking Triceratops head on a human body.
Yep. That is the case.
That is your hybrid dino for Project Evolution.
You can see a pretty good walkthrough of this house on the Travel Channel special from 2002, which features. Are you getting to this point next? The most shocking part about this place?
Yeah, go for it.
So this house is actually what scared me away from HHN for a while. This Travel Channel special is what scared me away, and mainly because I didn't like seeing John Hammond hanging himself in the middle of it. And like you would walk by and then his body would like shake and like I would not want to, like I didn't want to go to HHN. I didn't want to experience any of that. That special drove me away. It did the opposite effect on me.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, you were a Jurassic Park fan, so seeing John Hammond in that state was probably absolutely mortifying.
Exactly. I can't believe Steven Spielberg signed off on this. And Michael Crine. Michael Crine was still alive. Holy shit. Yeah, I can't believe this happened.
There was also a scare zone of that year that also featured the weird mutant dinosaurs,
hybrid,
correct?
Yeah.
The hybrid, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they were both inside the house and outside in the scare zone in Jurassic Park.
And it was crazy, as you would imagine. I didn't get to do it. Guys, to be honest, if I had a top 3 houses I've never done list, this would be on it.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, honestly, for sure.
I think my top 3 would all be houses from HHN12, but we'll get more into that.
Right. Do you want to take the next one too? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'll take the next one. So we're going to move to the other side of the park for HHN12. We're in Islands of Adventure, of course. We're going to go right behind Dr. Doom's Fearfall, where, fun fact, they actually built a warehouse there before just to house houses. This location is called Carnage Warehouse because we are going to talk about the house Maximum Carnage.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So kind of crazy enough, they're using Marvel for the houses like this, like, first of all, how do they get the go ahead to do this? We'll get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll get into that a little bit. So basically the story of this house was that the supervillains defeated the superheroes, and you're kind of experiencing this new supervillain-led world, and you're going to be in their lair. That's what the house is. You're going to find villains like Sabretooth, Electro, Silver Samurai, Purple Man. You know what's really funny about this? Supposedly, Carnage never makes an appearance in this house.
Wow.
He never shows
There's no
up.
Carnage in Maximum Carnage. There are reports that he was like on a podium at the end, but there's photos of basically every other scare actor, and most people say he was never there. So maybe there was a couple times he made an appearance that few people remember, or people just remember wrong. But very weird that he did not play an integral part in this house at the very least.
Maybe some casting issues or something. Who knows?
I mean, how? It was just a suit. They have people in like Spider-Man suits every day. Like,
Yeah, I guess. I don't.
that's weird. A thing I really like about this house, that sounded like a really cool scene. Right near the end, the Punisher was there, and he had a flamethrower. He burnt the whole fucking thing down.
Wow.
Where you'd see dead heroes and villains on the ground.
Oh my god.
Nico, do you think Marvel liked this one bit?
Well, it looks like they needed the money at the time because they were still coming out of bankruptcy.
Well, let's just say there's a reason Horror Nights has never used Marvel again in their houses.
Yeah, they probably were not very happy with the liberties that were taken there.
Marvel did not enjoy that depiction of their heroes and villains. So, I think this is maybe a little bit crazier than Project Evolution. Would you agree with that, guys?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely crazy that Marvel allowed this in the first place.
I'm gonna have to watch the special.
I'm not sure they fully allowed it. I think it sounds like Horror Nights are just kind of like, hey, we're gonna do a house and have your villains in it. Yeah, go ahead, have fun.
Yeah, you're still paying us licensing fees, right? Yeah, sure. They were too busy caring about Spider-Man in 2002 than anything else.
So making partial profit off Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are halfway through our jaunt of HHN 12 Islands of Fear. Let's keep on going and walk through what would be probably one of the weirdest scare zones of all time, and that would be Booville. This was a scare zone that was in the Seuss Landing area of the park. It was originally going to be called Grinch Night, but I guess they didn't get the licensing to use that.
Real quick, supposedly, I don't know why, but the name changed after they dropped Cindy. So I don't know if that had any effect on it for some reason.
Yeah, I don't.
Supposedly, that's when they changed the name for some reason.
Supposedly why? Yeah, but for when they lost Cindy, they because maybe it was going to have something to do with that. I'm not quite sure, but I do know that there was basically they never got the go ahead to really have any characters in this scare zone. The widow of Dr. Seuss was never on board. Basically told them that they really can't do anything remotely scary with his characters or his property, and for some reason they decided that this needed to be still on the maps as an official scare zone. Basically, from all accounts, the first year that it was there, it was just like some fog and some kind of spooky music, and just completely empty.
They also the other thing they had the Who's like silhouettes in the windows of the
like they were hiding
buildings.
from the
Yeah,
Grinch,
they're
right?
hiding from the Grinch.
Yeah,
so
'cause
the
it
whole
was
theme
Grinch
behind
night.
it is the Grinch has really scared the Who's, so they're all hiding in their homes.
Yeah. And then it did actually come back the next year for whatever reason. And there's rumors that this year they took some feedback and they actually added a Grinch character who would like lurk in the fog but not really interact with people, just like do his job with like hiding the whole time. So there would be a Grinch character who would just like hide and try to hide from guests and not interact with them the whole time.
Yeah. So, and also we should say this is also not confirmed. There's no proof of this. It's just certain accounts have said they witnessed it.
Yeah. For at least a couple of nights. So there's something they tried out to have a Grinch character lurking in the fog, but not interacting with anyone.
What a scare zone.
God. I wonder if they had to like show Dr. Seuss's widow like the drawings of this and that secret warehouse that they always talk about when they're talking about Seuss Landing.
What are you talking about?
Secret warehouse.
So every time, so if you watch anything from around that time about Seuss Landing, they'll always talk about the secret offsite warehouse where they brought in Dr. Seuss's widow, and that's like where she approved everything for it.
Huh, really?
Yeah, it's so funny because it's like the secret where like they make it a lot more dramatic than it is. It's probably just someplace off of OBT, really. But
why wouldn't she just come to the park?
No, because she had to approve it before it went into the park. Like she had to ride the carousel. They had it.
So they would like build it for her. Like they would like literally build the whole thing and like make her ride it.
Yes, yeah. They built the carousel offsite. Y'all didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
So they built the carousel offsite and they had her ride it in the secret warehouse. I'll send y'all if I can find the TV spec for this. I think it's in Travel Channel Secrets. I don't think it's the USA Total Immersion special. I'm a fucking nerd when it comes to these like old hour-long like television specials.
And this is why you're on the show, even though you're a Horror Nights noob.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah, but, this is something I had no clue.
Yeah, none.
I mean, they had to make some compromise with it. I guess that was a compromise because, like, how the hell are you supposed to like get guests? Is it just going to be a dead end once you get to like Lost Continent? You're like, got to turn back around, folks.
Supposedly that was the compromise. They didn't use the Seuss characters in any negative way. They just put some fog and eerie music and called it a day. Hey, I just rhymed. Look at me.
Oh, could you imagine like
how appropriate?
Like Sylvester, like Monkey McBean, like getting torn apart in one of those things. Like he falls into like one of the machines and he comes out like all that. The Starbelly Sneeches, they have like upside down pentagrams on their bellies. Like, that would be
all right.
That would be.
I see why she didn't want this to happen. It makes sense now that I'm visualizing.
Moving on.
Do we have to? Because
we're not leaving HHN12 Islands of Fear.
Oh, good.
We're staying here for the last entry that focuses on 2002, which was the year of Crazy, which would be the house Fear Factor. Nico, were you aware that there was a house featured on the property Fear Factor?
I was not aware. Am I not surprised, actually?
Okay. Well,
before the 2002?
Yeah, 2002. Yeah. It was probably the height of Fear Factor's popularity.
Fear Factor was the shit back then.
Yeah, right? And this is before NBC Universal merged, so that's even more surprising.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So basically, the premise is what you would expect. It was basically just trying to take that IP and trying to turn it into, you would walk room by room and guests would just face their fears. So there would be a room that was like featured of worms and snakes. There was a room that would that was featured like spiders. There was like definitely a dark room where you just kind of have to walk through like a pitch black room. Like lots of like weird goo and sensory stuff. Like they slimed you a lot apparently. The rat lady, the HHN rat lady, made an appearance. And the craziest thing, there was also like a time where like it made you feel like you were walking on a bridge and the bridge kind of dropped.
Oh, that's cool.
And then the craziest, the finale, it was literally just 4 characters kind of lined up in a row, and they all like pointed guns at you and shot you. Like literally, like with an air, they just like you just walk. They just like shot you at the end.
They were like air guns.
Yeah,
My God,
but not really themed in like the ghost town way. They just kind of shot you.
Yeah, this was one hell of an idea
Right?
in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Oof.
What were they thinking?
It's got fear in the name. This will be good.
Yeah, by all accounts, this might be one of the worst houses that HHN has ever designed.
A fear factor house.
Yeah, apparently, it's one of the few houses where it is like known that like people walked out of the house like just shitting on how bad it was.
Yeah.
Like that's
Even-
just the
yeah.
normal response you got from
It's
guests.
a room full of rats. It's a room full of bugs.
Yep, that's
I
basically
mean, it was literally the show. Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
Was Joe Rogan there at the end?
he was not.
Like you have
Can
to
you
like
imagine?
download his podcast at the end.
Right. You have to listen about chemtrails and
Yeah.
psilocybin meditation and things like that.
Elon Musk is sitting in the corner, awkwardly hitting a joint.
Yeah.
It's great.
And then you get handed a packet of Blue Chew, and you're like, "What the fuck's that?"
All right. Well, unfortunately, we do have to leave Islands of Fear, but we are going back a little bit further in time to HHN2, which this one makes the list because I know Nico really likes the concept of horrified attractions. So we wanted to kind of make a list of this has happened in the past. And it's, I believe, probably other times other than HHN2, but I just kind of wanted to focus on the craziness of HHN2. There was actually 4 horrified haunted attractions in HHN2. The first one was called Alien Forest, which was actually an ET adventure. Apparently, the storyline was changed that you weren't meeting friendly aliens and that you were actually encountering demons and monsters from another planet.
They didn't have to change much.
They had to add a bunch of fog. And apparently, Steven Spielberg did not allow to put characters in the queue, the actual like forest. So they put them in like the queue line instead, where they would like jump out to you in the queue line, but they weren't allowed in anywhere in the actual attraction.
Oh my God.
Now, first of all, I got to say about this one, like that queue is already kind of built to be like a Horror Nights house.
Yeah,
Like I could see how that could work really well.
Yeah, that was probably the concept. They're probably like, let's put people in that queue, and Steven Spielberg like shot it down. He was like, no.
Yeah. That's unfortunate.
What are you doing? E.T.'s my favorite.
And there was another one in that year. So you might be your favorite. It was called Voyage into the Unknown, and it was a ride overlay for, can you guess which house? Let's play this game. Can you guess what house Voyage
Attraction.
What attraction it would be?
Voyage into the Unknown. So this was HHN2?
HHN2. What attraction would an overlay with the name Voyage into the Unknown?
I would guess Back to the Future.
Your guess would be right. They put a ride overlay of Back to the Future, where basically the ride was kind of the same, but the queue had like a mad scientist characters that would like torment you.
So was there a new film or no?
Not that I can recall, like I can find. I'm been trying to do research, and I don't see anything about an actually new film. It was just the queue that was horrified.
Okay.
Sounds pretty lame. Let's be honest.
Like because half of it's outside. Like they're just running up and down the ramp, screaming like, "Hey!" doing their best Christopher Lloyd's.
Well, they were
we
like
know how terrible those can be.
Mad scientists.
Yeah. I got some
then-
plutonium. I made it out of
then-
spare pinball machine parts.
DeLoreans!
The next one from this year was one called Terror Underground, which was Earthquake. And really, from what I can tell, the main change is they just tinted the water from the finale. They just tinted it red. That was the main. That was the main change.
Oh,
that
that's
they
so
did.
good.
So yeah. And then lastly, this might be my favorite one. It was called the Tramway of Doom, and is what they changed confrontation into. Are you aware of this, Nico?
I think I saw someone tweet about this recently. It's like you could walk down on the floor.
Yes, you could walk down on the floor, I believe, and it was themed around the 1990 film Darkman.
Darkman?
Yes, Darkman.
Oh, everyone's favorite film from 1990s.
Yeah, everyone's favorite film, Darkman.
Darkman. Was that like one of those like shitty comic book revivals? Like
absolutely, that's what that was.
So it was like a shadow, like Dick Tracy.
Pretty much, yeah. It was a Sam Raimi film, actually.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah.
Why am I just learning of this film? Darkman.
It actually starred Liam Neeson.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Liam Neeson was Darkman. Yeah. And Frances McDormand.
As Peyton Westlake, a scientist who was brutally attacked, disfigured, and left for dead by a ruthless mobster. My God.
All right.
He was unable to secure the rights to the Shadow or Batman, so he made Darkman.
That's exactly what it was. He wanted to really make like Batman or like the Shadow. So he wrote Darkman, and they turned it into a horrified attraction where they basically threw in some Darkman characters, and you could like it was like a short little walk on the area beneath the ride.
I'd say it sounds atrocious until the part where you actually get to walk underneath the attraction, like along the sets.
That's
crazy.
That's pretty cool.
I would have loved to do that.
Oh man.
Well, we are on to our last one. And honestly,
you guys ready?
This might be the craziest one. And we actually just discovered this one maybe like a week or two ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
Yeah, so someone posted in one of the Facebook Horror Nights Facebook groups saying like, "Hey, does anyone remember this happening?" And sure enough, it happened. People did research and found out that was the Nico. Are you ready for this? Because I know you talk about this concept a lot.
Yes.
This is called the Hard Rock Haunted Rooms.
Get the fuck out of here.
So also going back to 2002, HHN12.
HHN12, baby.
Oh my God, what a year.
Yes. They Hard Rock was doing a promotion where you could have the Eternal Rest Hotel package, where they basically promised that you would be staying in a haunted room. And it included an HHN ticket, a dinner to Emeralds, and a souvenir photo. And you spent one night, and it was for 2 guests, and it cost you $585. And inside the room, you would find drawers with body parts. You would find tombstones and coffins. Somehow they got the water in the bathroom to bleed like red.
No way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And apparently a waiver was needed to be signed. Yeah. At 2:45, the room would get colder and creepy music would play. Special effects would cause things to move in the room. And then you would receive a visit from the caretaker.
My fucking God.
Yes.
Holy shit.
I would have done this in a heartbeat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dinner at
now,
Emeralds.
Unfortunately, this is all we know about it. Like, I did a lot of digging on this, and the most I could find, the furthest I got was someone saying they were going to post a video, and then for the next year, people were asking, have you posted that video yet? No response.
Oh my God.
So there's nothing else about this.
There's a news story. There's a news article about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely did exist.
Yep.
You could have dinner at Emerald's and a souvenir photo. $585. That sounds steep.
Yeah,
For one
at the
night,
time,
yeah.
that was very expensive.
Oh
was
my
very
God.
expensive.
That's
Very
$847
expensive.
in today's dollars.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's a once in a lifetime experience. You would never ever get to experience anything like that again.
Oh my God.
At the time, you didn't know it was, but it was. It never happened again.
No.
God, y'all need to do
I
a
wonder-
full episode on HHN 12.
All right. I have a
we
few
might.
questions. We need to
Uh-huh.
find who the whoever the representative that did the press release was. Talk to them, or someone at Hard Rock, and talk to them, and
We
find
can
more
figure this out.
details.
We can find this out. We can do some research.
Yeah.
I have
how
a
many
friend.
how many rooms did they have set aside? That's
I-
really what I want to know.
I
how
know
many-
a couple
like,
of people who
was it
work at Hard
booked?
Rock. Honestly,
Was it a pre-fee menu at Emerald's?
Mm.
Nico really wants
That's
to know
Nico's
about
question.
this Emerald.
I like how it says a souvenir photo. Like you only get
Just
one.
one.
$585. You get one photo. But
I want to
there's
know
no
how
rules.
they
You get one photo.
They made the bathroom water run blood red. I want to
Fine.
know.
body
amazing.
parts and drawers. Get down
All right.
here. That's
We need
insane.
to make a vow that we are going to work our damn hardest to find people to interview who know about this, who worked there, who
Okay.
experienced it, and make a whole episode out of it. with
I'm
interviews.
reaching out. I'm reaching out for this. This is
All right,
This
so
is too.
We
crazy
are going to get to the
now.
bottom of this. We are going to get to
All right,
the bottom
if you are
of this.
listening to this and you know anyone that knows anything more about this, please reach out to us. Help us find out. We will have a whole episode about this if we can. So please reach out to us. If you're listening to this, know anyone who knows a little bit more about this, let us know. We'll do some digging and we'll try to have a whole episode about this sometime this summer, if
I've
possible.
never seen a
Well.
corporate, not only one corporation, two corporations partner up. Actually, almost three corporations partner up to do something like this. Because I'm sure Lowe's had to sign off on this, and I'm sure Hard Rock had to sign off on this.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
Hard Rock would sign off on anything back then.
Question.
So,
Well, yeah, true. Yeah, I mean, well, you know what? I know some people at Hard Rock. Maybe that's a start. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we're going
Yeah,
to try
I
to
do
make
too.
this happen because I want to make this happen
Yeah.
so
oh my
bad.
God.
I need to know. I need
I-
to see a video more than anything.
I need to find out. I want to see pamphlets. Wait a
Yeah.
second. I
Oh.
might have some. I don't know if I have any HHN specific brochures because this is around the time I was collecting brochures.
Take a look, and we'll definitely
I'll see if I have any brochures.
try to
for this.
report
Yeah.
back as soon as we can on more.
Oh my
information
God.
about this.
Please leave a voicemail if you know.
Or DM us, or reach out to us. Yeah, this is important. We need your help.
Oh, I need.
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll do some YouTube digging too for this. This is too crazy.
Good
not to
luck.
find.
I've tried very hard.
All right.
Very hard.
Well, that makes our top 10 list stuff.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Do you guys enjoy HHN 12?
Right. Definitely reach out to us if we left anything off that you want to talk about. That's why we have this new voicemail. So reach out to us. We'll add them throughout next week's episode. Let us know, and we will put you on the show.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hear anything we might have missed. I mean, there were a lot of other options.
Yeah.
We didn't hit everything. And, maybe some people didn't think anything on this list was too crazy at all. All right. Well, if you didn't think the Eternal Rest package at Hard Rock is crazy, then something's wrong with you because that's
Right.
just fucking nuts.
Also, Speculation 2.0 map. If you want to talk about that, sure. Leave a voicemail and we'll put it on a show too.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know what you feel about the changes. Anything you feel is wrong for some reason. And we'll shout it out one more time. That's 407-906-3405.
Yeah, add it to your phones. Call us while you're drunk quarantining. We want to hear it.
Yeah, especially drunk ones. Those are the best.
Yeah, we definitely. This is the reason why we went with the actual phone number, is because when finally this all ends and you're out drinking and something pops into your head that you want to call us, and now you have some liquid courage to do so, call us. This is what it's for.
You know what's fantastic about this? I'm probably going to be shit-faced and call the voicemail and leave one day. It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
It'll end up on there. It'll
probably at Horror Nights too. Like I'll be at Horror Nights.
Oh, absolutely.
Like
call us from Horror Nights. Yes. This is
call us from Horror Nights.
We got a while to go till that happens. So.
Yeah, but add it to your phones now. Call us a couple of times before, so you have how this works. Call us from Horror Nights. I want to hear them.
You call us from Dark Horizons too.
Trip reports, baby.
Yes, trip reports. Oh yeah, if you do your local haunt, from wherever you are, give us a little 2-minute trip reports from your local haunt of whatever it is. We'll put it on the show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure. I hope you guys remember this in like 5-6 months. But
we'll keep talking about this.
We'll keep talking about it for sure.
But
we'll keep spamming it.
Yeah. So add it to your phones now and give us a call. All right, that basically wraps up the episode. We don't know what next week's episode's about yet, but I'm sure it will be fun. I hope you liked this episode. Let us know if you did. We want to try to do more things like this, especially when we're trying to kill some quarantine time.
And then remember, to kill more quarantine time, we got the Copa del Quarantine coming up. Twitter, Instagram, at HHN365. Come join us. Pick your favorite house. If your favorite house isn't there, I'm sorry. That's probably because your favorite house was something like Lunatic's Playground, and then I don't value your opinion as much as I should.
It could end up in the wild card. There's a few in there that might. Yeah.
Well, no, Lunatic's Playground is not on the list at all. So, sorry.
Well, Lunatic's Playground's probably not.
is Fear Factor on the list?
Project Evolution might end up in the wild card.
Project Evolution's definitely on the list, but
no, we're not going back that far. But the wild card round. The wild card round we might go back to some of the ones before 15, right? Is that where you stopped off at 15?
Yeah, we're 15 through 29 for our base tournament. And then our wild card, we're gonna squeeze some popular ones from the yesteryear in to see who makes it.
Right. So maybe Project Evolution will end up in there.
Maybe.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, guys. This was a really fun one to record, and we'll see you in the streets.